basically just danced through my whole labor. Like, this baby is nowhere close to coming. That is key, and that's what I really realized this time. Hello everybody, so I am now officially a mum of 3 boys, and in today's video I'm gonna talk you through my birth story. In short, I am so happy and grateful for the birth that I had with little Abe Forrest. It was just kind of, I don't know, I feel like this time I just got birth, and I'll try and explain what I mean by that through the course of this video. But anyway, without further ado, it's not very long. He was born on a Wednesday night, and let's start maybe from the weekend, so like around Saturday before. Around that time, I started feeling like my waters were breaking, and by that I mean that I could feel kind of a bit of trickling, and I think it was my waters breaking, but of course it is quite tricky to tell, and part of me thought, oh, am I just wetting myself a bit? So that was kind of happening. No gushing or anything like that, but just a little bit of water. And because with Sunny, I'd had the experience of thinking my waters had broken, but it only being the back waters or the hind waters. That was in my mind, and that's what I think was happening this time. I had the mucus plug go, and then a couple of Braxton Hicks as well. That was all happening over the weekend, but I made the decision not to call the hospital and not to alert the midwives, because I felt like, well, first of all, contractions were not happening strongly or regularly, and also because of this experience I'd had previously with waters partially breaking, I knew that once you contacted hospital or midwives, you're on a bit of a countdown and a bit of a timer, and then if you don't go into active labour, they want to give you antibiotics, and that was the experience I had last time. So this time, yeah, we made a kind of conscious decision just to stay calm and let things kind of happen. That was over the weekend, and then what happened on Tuesday night was I was up in the night with contractions basically. I wasn't really able to sleep, and I was having to really breathe through them and stand up and walk around and get on my all fours and just kind of work through them. But nothing crazily painful, but I was really set on sleeping, so I just tried to be horizontal and rest as much as I possibly could. And basically all of that week I'd been kind of just going about my life as usual. I was in a really weird place of really wanting to rest ahead of the birth and ahead of the baby, but also really wanting to nest. So really wanting to like sort out the garden and like tidy up and like sort through clothes. I felt fine. I was like driving, I took Jack somewhere. Then after Tuesday night, when I had been having these contractions and was up in the night, Wednesday morning woke up and I was like, I feel like something may be, I don't know, happening. Sam went off to work. Jack, I had booked in to go to like a football club by chance on that day and on the Tuesday, the day before. But I was just like, I don't think I should drive actually, because I'm now having contractions maybe like, you know, once every 15 minutes or something. So my mum very kindly picked Jack up and took him, and meanwhile I just was resting and moving and kind of just being in my space. I was on my all fours a lot, leaning forward on a rocking chair that we have. Felt amazing. I put on my music, I lit some candles. I just kind of started gradually getting into a space. A lot of my contractions were happening from my back, so I feel like going on my all fours was really amazing to kind of just take some of that pressure off. So then at about 1 p.m, I was like, I think I should eat something. So I really tried to eat, and by this point I couldn't eat. My mum made me a plate of pasta, but I wasn't up for it at all. Sam, I was like, I asked him if he could come home from work. I was still fine and kind of, you know, managing them. I was using the Freya app by Positive Birth Company, and that was amazing because I was able to time my contractions really clearly in a way that I hadn't done with my previous 2 births. I felt really in control, and I don't know, I was listening to the music and moving with the music. I basically just danced through my whole labour and swayed and moved my hips and got on my all fours. I just felt like that's what I had to do. I wasn't like pacing, I was just like grooving basically. and breathing, a lot of breathing. And I had like certain breaths that I was doing at certain points in the contraction. Then when you're not contracting or having surges, you're actually completely normal, and that is key. And that's what I really realized this time, that on those moments when the contractions cease, that's when you got to do stuff like pee or drink or try and eat a mouthful of something or just sit down and rest, because you're totally normal in those moments. So that was really big for me. Then at like 2ish, I think, Mum was like, I think you should probably just shower and kind of get ready. Still in my head, I was like, this baby is nowhere close to coming, and I was fully expecting to have another night where I was like properly up and in a lot of pain that night. I was still trying to edit a video. By this point, both of the kids were home. Also, like loads of building work next door to us. It was like hardcore drilling. But I just tried to stay really calm. I kept timing my contractions. So then at around 4:30 was the point at which my contractions seemed to be coming for about a minute each, and there was about 3 every 10 minutes. And on the Freya app, it kind of alerts you and it says, I think now's maybe a good time to contact your midwife. We decided we were going to go into hospital. We made a really calm, conscious decision. My mum drove me and Sam, probably going to go down as the most memorable car ride of my life. They were in the front and I was in the back. And I can't say that I was fully sitting on my bum, more like on my knees. We were really chilled, but it was just quite comical. Anyway, we got to hospital, we got to birth centre, and I was feeling quite emotional at this point, just because, I don't know, I'd got this far, but I still, in my head, I was like, I am so far off. Like, I'm not even close to giving birth. I was sure that I was going to be labouring all through the night. We got into the birth centre. It was totally empty, totally silent. It was a bit ghost towny, actually. We got to our room and in walked our midwives, and that's just quite a big deal when you come face to face with the people who are maybe going to be delivering your baby, I don't know, or helping you get there. Anyway, there was 2 of them, like a kind of trainee, and the main one was amazing. She's called Ima. She was super chilled out, and that was exactly what I needed, but she was almost like so chilled out. I was a bit worried, because one of the things that I was a bit anxious about was being measured, because I've had experiences in my past 2 labours where, especially with Jack, where I thought I was at a certain point, I thought I'd got really far, and then the midwife measured me, I was like 3 centimetres or something. And then I had another experience where they measured me wrongly and told me I was much further along than I actually was. And also I knew that it's very common for women actually to be measured and then to go backwards in terms of their dilation. So in my head I was like, I don't want to be measured. I knew it was something that midwives don't have to do at all, and that they can generally tell from the woman labouring what stage she's at. So we got in and I was like, oh, are you going to want to measure me? And she was like, no, like if you don't want to be measured, that's fine. And I was like, oh, okay. So pretty much straight away started kind of setting up. Sam put out our tea lights, he put up all of my birth mat on the wall, which was super helpful. He put on the music, which, as I said before, was like crucial. I don't think I could have had the birth I had without my birth music. And they ran the water for the pool. And she did some initial checks as well on me, and I just kept, I think, saying to her, like, I've got so long to go, and she was so divine. She was like, why do you think that? She's like, I don't think you have got that far to go. Like, I think you're doing really well, you know. And I just didn't believe her, because I've had really quite long labours with the first 2. Anyway, so I got into the water, and that felt amazing. That was my pain relief, I suppose, the water and the heat from the water. And it was really soothing, especially on my back. So yeah, but I carried on having the contractions, I carried on dancing through them, and then when I wasn't contracting and standing, I lowered myself into the water and kind of rested. At one point I peed, which I was really proud of myself for doing, because I've had trouble with that in previous labours. I drank a lot of water, had some sweets, and I just sucked on them because I couldn't move my jaw, kind of thing. Actually, that was a really important one. I kept my mouth really relaxed, and one of my signs was like, relax your mouth, because that is supposed to be very linked to down there. Signs were really helpful just to glance at, and at one point the midwife was like, look at your signs, look at your words. And then about 6:30, she said, look, how do you feel about being measured? I've been in hospital for like 2 hours in labour, and I said, okay, let's do it, let's be measured. And I was really relaxed, breathing through it. And she measured me and she was like, "You're 8 centimeters." And I just was like, "What?" I said to her, "Are you joking?" And she said, "No." She's like, "Just have faith in yourself." My water still hadn't properly broken, so as I had thought, it was just the back waters that had been breaking. And at that point she said to me, "Look, would you like me to burst your waters?" And it was a bit of a tough one. She said, "If I burst your waters, your baby will be here in half an hour." Sam and I looked at each other. I didn't know what to do. In the end, I thought to myself, look, the pain is considerable at this point. I'm not sure I'm ready to have this go up a notch, because that's what inevitably would happen if they burst my waters. It would become a lot more intense. So I said, "No, I think for now." She said, fine, absolutely fine. Go back into the water, do whatever feels good." And so I went back, and really not long after that, around 7 p.m, I suddenly said, "I think I need to push." And she said, "Yeah, I can see that you do." Then I had about half an hour of pushing, and that for me was the hardest part. That was when I nearly lost it, I think, and did start shouting a bit. And I remember she said to me, "You're the only people in the birth centre, you can make as much noise as you want." But she also kept saying to me, "Blow, just blow, keep blowing," because that allows you to control what's going on down there. And I had Sam right there, just trying my hardest to push and stay calm and blow. First of all, then my waters came out. I said, "Something's come out," but I knew it wasn't the baby. She was coaching me through it, and that was tough. That was really, really tough. And then I felt his head come out, and then his little body, and then pulled him up. And then there was a bit of drama because his umbilical cord actually snapped, I think, because I pulled him up too fast, and it was potentially quite a short cord. I mean, at this point I was kind of like out of it. Sam told me that they were sort of quickly scrambling around for the clamp. Everything was absolutely fine. They did a couple of quick checks on him afterwards, but he was fine. But yeah, so that was it. And then he was on me. Just still to this day, cannot get over the fact that it was so quick and that I felt really so, I guess, in control. It was amazing, and I remember every single bit of it. At one point I remember thinking, "Oh, an epidural would be really nice right now." I'm so happy and grateful, as I said, to have had that birth. And yeah, I was going to introduce you to him, but he is sleeping so soundly in our bed right now. I don't want to disturb him, but next video I'm sure I will have with me. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Any questions, pop them below. I'm going to link to my birth playlists and to anything else I think might be helpful. And otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.